What's up, bitches?
Calm down. Hey.
What's up?
Damn, I know we just had a really hot session of D&D.
We did, yeah.
I don't know why I put the pause there.
We're hot off the press from a Dungeon Chronicles episode, which if you guys don't know, it's our live play.
It is our live play.
Our actual live play podcast.
That
we stream and we then release on YouTube.
Sometimes on Mondays.
Thursdays.
Yeah, it's on this channel.
We stream it on Mondays, but you can find it. You can watch it on Thursdays on here, this channel, the one you're on.
I'm sorry.
If you're on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, unfortunately, you should be. At least you should go subscribe at the very least. And then you can watch Dungeon Chronicles on our YouTube channel.
We're also on the Spotifys and the audio only stuff. So we're not excluding people. I remember once upon a time we did say you're not missing anything out except for our beautiful faces.
This is true.
That is true. There's other things you're missing out on too. It's been a fun week.
It has been, yeah. There was the.
Well, you were chilling. You had your own fun.
Yeah, well, it was the Magic pre-release. I went to some museums. I was hanging out with my girlfriend and her brother.
Damn. Good times.
Did some classwork. That wasn't that fun. Wrote about critical race theory, so that was interesting.
Sorry, what?
It was
how do you crit at races in D&D?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Were you writing about D&D in school? What?
That'd be fun, man. I feel like, I now I think about this, probably actually a lot of times, and I'm in psychology stuff. I feel like if I were to write a thesis, I probably could find a way to make it about D&D.
No, you definitely could. You should.
There's a lot of psychology stuff that goes into D&D.
To you students out there, if you can find a way to finagle your favorite topic or hobby in there, you got to harness it and turn it into productive energy, but your passion, it will show, and you'll get a better grade.
People write about Twitch in their thesis and streaming and stuff. I mean, there's lots of ways you can tweak things.
I wrote about Erased once at an English essay, and I got the highest grade the teacher's ever given.
Damn.
In college.
So it was like how to write a story, like a good story?
No, it was about whether or not it was a mystery, because there was a shit post on Reddit, and people were like, it's not a mystery. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you how it's a fucking mystery. And I turned basically what could have been a shitty Reddit comment into a college essay, and I got a pretty good grade on it.
It's a good show if you haven't seen it. Erased.
Yeah, a lot about the color red and whatnot.
Very good.
Good show. But you know what else is even better?
What?
There's one thing. This is the episode. It's the episode.
One of.
Yeah, one of two.
Well, now we'll have the completed trilogy or completed. What's two? Duo? I don't know, because we've done. Well,
if you did a trilogy, the one of it would be just one word. It'd be really silly.
The ampersand. We've done the dungeon episode.
We are the dungeon.
True. But we've talked about dungeons, and now we're finally talking about the other half.
The dragons.
Some would even call the better half.
The better half. Well, you can have your dragons, but what if you don't have a dungeon for them dragons?
Well, I was thinking in the 5+ years I've played D&D and DM'd for it, there's never been a dragon encounter. You guys have never
We fought wyverns. We've seen dragons, and we've heard about them.
There have been no dragon fights, and that's crazy.
There's a green dragon once upon a time.
There was a green dragon once upon a time.
A plague. Now I understand because of the Magic the Gathering set, green dragons do poison stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, you're going to learn a lot about dragons today.
We are. I mean, he told me to stop, but I'm looking at D&D Beyond's page.
Careful.
I'm just looking at it, and there's... Who is this shiny looking?
Yeah.
How does this thing even exist?
Well, I guess we should start off. Why are we talking about dragons? Besides, of course, Dungeons and Dragons. I feel like it's an important cornerstone.
However on topic it might be, there was a recent news thing that our jazz segment did not bring to you. But first,
started off as a leak, and then they decided to announce it.
Yeah, before that.
Oh, before that?
He's Ryan.
Oh, sorry. He's Braxton.
And today we're talking about the leak of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. Yeah, nice. We practiced that.
Releases October 19th, 2021. Releasing between the Strixhaven and the Feywild
I didn't
book.
care.
Actually, I did that backwards. Feywild book's first, then this book, and then the Strixhaven book.
Well, it's interesting because if you did any of the magic stuff for Strixhaven, you would have known that there are dragons of the houses of the colleges.
This is true. Yeah.
And I have to wonder, how much of that is going to lean into this? Is it going to be an entirely separate thing? Probably
I think it's separate. Yeah.
Yeah, but use it to fuel your role playing as these dragons. I don't know, because they look sick, nasty.
Well, to me, the beauty. I mean, you're looking at the pictures. The beauty of dragons to me is it reminds everyone, so I guess in D&D specifically, reminds everyone that this is a fantastical, adventuring world. It's as grounded as your world may be. Once you bring in some dragons, everyone's like, oh, hell yeah, this is, I know what this is. Just like Game of Thrones, mild spoilers, there are dragons in Game of Thrones, and that's a fairly grounded fantasy world. And once you start seeing these crazy badass dragons, this is the fantasy show I want to watch.
I mean, think about all the famous video games you've played. Dragon Age, one of my favorites. Dragon's Dogma. You're the Dragonborn in Skyrim. True. Come on.
Dragons are a big deal. It's one of those fantasy things that, it's interesting to think about because they're not really, I guess they are, but people in the medieval ages and stuff believed in these things. Like this
Yes.
was like an actual creature that could exist out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd see them on maps and stuff. You know, exactly with the sea creatures. And
I was looking at their anatomy before, and it kind of freaked me out because in theory, at some point, they would have had 4 appendages, 4 arms
well,
in the front.
I guess let's talk about it now before I talk about the authors of this book. So
What is a dragon?
what is a dragon, and what's the difference between a dragon and a wyvern?
Dragons have some extra legs.
Yeah.
Arms.
No.
Yes.
No.
Don't wyverns only have wings?
Well, wyverns, their wings are their legs.
And they
wings
have like
legs
poison
are
and barbed
attached.
tails?
I think dragons can probably have that.
Dragons
too.
have 4 sets of shoulders,
Yes,
2 sets of
the
shoulders.
main thing is their arms and their wings are very separated.
Yes.
And the wyverns are it's interesting when you
They're
think
smaller, they're dumber, they're less cool.
I mean, the Skyrim dragons are wyverns.
They have arms.
Look it up. Skyrim. Look up Skyrim dragon. You'll see it's a wyvern.
Furious hacker
There's
noises.
a lot of when you think of dragons in most pop culture stuff, they are wyverns. It's weird to think about.
Oh, you're
See?
fucking me up.
Yeah, the Game of Thrones dragons are also
Stop.
wyverns.
Do you think when they do this, it's like a look at this? Yeah. It's like a conscious decision to ignore the dichotomy between the two, or they just don't know?
I think in most people's minds they're the same thing. And to be fair, they are.
But that's impressive. People who make video games like these, oftentimes, you know how much research they do and how much none of that comes in through the game.
I'm curious if, because obviously Skyrim is very much inspired by Nordic mythology, Norse mythology stuff. I wonder if Norse mythology has dragons as looking like this or something,
It's
or maybe they
also
don't have dragons.
Less polygons.
Yeah.
Warn you right now, editing. I might sneeze in just like 2 seconds.
It's all right. You can you do Tate's on day, and I turn away from the mic to breathe, kind of thing.
It's not happening. But do you think dragons sneeze their breath weapons?
Probably.
Speaking of dragons, they breathe things.
I feel like there was a movie I saw where a dragon sneezed all over somebody.
I feel like it might have been Shrek.
Maybe.
Probably Shrek. It's always Shrek.
One of my favorite dragon movies is Dragon Heart. It's tough to watch nowadays.
Is that based off a book?
Probably. I don't know.
There was a series of books about dragons, their names and whatnot. Do you ever see kids in school reading those?
Maybe.
I've always been curious about that. There's always a picture of a dragon on the front or the scales itself. And each one's about a specific dragon. There are people that were obsessed with
Did you see? Oh, are you talking about Aragon?
Probably.
It was Aragon. Brisinger was one of them.
Definitely.
Eldest.
Definitely.
They weren't. Those weren't names of dragons. Aragon was the name of the dude.
Oh, what's the name?
Brisinger was a spell that he used, and Eldest was, I think, just like the eldest dragon.
What did the spell do?
It was, I don't remember. It
Had to be
was
a
like
cool
a bunch of force or something.
It's kind of.
Or was his arrow spell? Dude, I don't remember. It's been a long time. You know, the guy that wrote it, Christopher Powlin, was our age when he wrote him. Like, he was super young.
And this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And you're watching it, listening to it.
Okay, so yeah, Fizban releases. So the main author on it is a guy named James Wyatt. We've actually talked about James Wyatt before. We talked about him last time when we were theorizing what this could be.
Yes.
And
you thought it was Planescape.
Yeah, and you were breaking my heart by telling me it was just going to be magic stuff. Luckily, we're both wrong.
Yep.
Maybe not luckily. So he wrote Adventure. You'll find this interesting because you just played a bunch of this week, and he was a big game designer on Adventures in the Forgotten Realms.
Oh.
Yeah. He helped create the dungeon mechanic, as far as I'm aware.
Okay, you could do better.
Damn. He also wrote the Eberron book. He helped write the new Ravenloft book. And most importantly for this announcement is he wrote the Draconomicon for 3.5 edition.
So what you're saying is this is going to be really fucking good.
Hopefully. This guy's been around the block. He has worked and the editor that's working with him, Scott Fitzgerald Gray, has also been a part of the business for a very long time, has had his hands in many, many different D&D products.
I feel like if you have Fitzgerald in your name, you're just default to being a good writer.
You better be, yeah.
Why? Well, there's so many, but I digress.
Especially, isn't like the guy that did Great Gatsby like Scott Fitzgerald or something like that?
Scott Fitzgerald.
Yeah, this guy's got 2 of the names in it.
Damn, you Scott, you Fitzgerald?
Yeah, what else?
You know your degree.
Right, but so I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to these. Are 2
They're
like
stacked, man.
Because Scott Fitzgerald Gray, unless my research failed me, has not worked on D&D since like 4th edition. So he's not done any 5th edition stuff. James Wyatt has done a few things in 5th edition, but he did a lot for 3.5 and some of the older editions. So these are 2 big guys coming back to the field and ready to make something awesome.
I gotta wonder how connected the teams on Magic and D&D are. They've probably been a lot more so now, but if they did all this designing in tandem with this right now. I mean, he's probably just been sitting in the place.
I know James White did another MTG set as well. I can't remember off the top of my head.
So he's not been inactive.
No, he's been doing lots of stuff. He's a very busy guy.
All right.
Okay, so getting into the main meat of this book, and then we're gonna talk about some dragon specific lore, but this kind of covers both because this is gonna be, they did a stream and some videos talking about what's gonna be in the book, and I'm also gonna be kind of like spitballing what else they could be including in it. So they've talked about how there's gonna be drakes, a bestiary, full bestiary, bestiary, whatever the hell. There's gonna be drakes in there, wyverns, we already made the distinction, dragons, of course, and then what they are calling great worms, which are supposed to be larger and older than ancient dragons. So this is like 1,000-year-old plus dragon guy.
Yeah, if you've played
around
like
the block.
Dark Souls or Dragon's Dogma, anytime you hear the word worm, it's like, okay, this is like final enemy in the game.
Exactly. And the way they describe this is like they're gods. He said they're almost like gods of this realm. And they're going to be using mythic options, the mythic options from Theros, where I don't know if you've seen this. So it's basically how it works is you kill it, and then it not really resurrects, but it goes to a phase 2. And phase 2, it can now use different abilities, and it goes back to like a full set of health.
Kind of like Rime of the Frost Maiden?
Yeah, kind of.
She has 2 phases, I think.
Yeah, kind of like that. Oh. It's very cool. You can run them completely without the mythic option as well. But I love mythic options, and there's some really cool supplements. Supplements on DM's Guild that are called Mythic Encounters that are fantastic. So the interesting thing that they said about these great worms is that they use these, I think what they call echoes, where these great worms are on they're godlike, and they're on multiple different planes all at the same time. And they can communicate to each other, know about each other, and they can all come together and like form a really badass creature.
Like Tiamat?
I would say Tiamat's probably, I mean, obviously a scale above a great worm, but definitely closer. Yeah.
It freaks me out. It's like trying to think about fourth dimensional stuff, and like you're in all these positions of time at once, and yet you're still this one being.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it would be cool to see how they would do. Obviously, I'm sure there's a base stat block of creature you fight. But it'd be cool. The only way to kill this thing is to kill all its different echoes. So you have to go across.
That's a hell of a quest.
Yeah, and that's like in-game stuff.
Planescape?
For sure. I'm telling you.
It's Planescape. Holy shit.
And then, of course, they've talked about the gem dragons, which he's looking at right here.
They're so hot,
They look awesome. They've not been in 5th edition yet. Matt Colville has taken it upon himself to make his own, and he's definitely still going to be doing that because he's basically said that he thinks that his third-party stuff and D&D are separated. He can do his own thing. So if you want to see gem dragons in 5th edition now, go check out Matt Colville.
That's in our thumbnail.
Yeah, that guy's badass.
He's so hot.
So I'm gonna talk about what they are, and you can get your input in here. So they used to be, I don't know if you know this, but there are chromatic dragons, there are metallic dragons, and then the gem dragons. Chromatic were evil, metallic were good, and these guys were neutral. Now they said that they're not necessarily going to be neutral anymore. They're not just going to be neutral line dragons, which I like and don't like at the same time. I think they're trying to get away from alignment.
Yeah, it seems that way.
I'm happy about, but I just don't want them to have chaotic evil, different versions of these dragons. They're found in the inner planes, like the elemental planes and the energy planes. Yeah,
because are they literally just that mineral?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you more about that. So they have very heavy psionic powers. Very, very heavy. And a lot of them, their form is kept together by their psionic ability.
Okay.
So like if they have horns that are separated from them, and there's air in between, and then you actually see it. Yeah, that's a perfect picture for it. You can see those horns are separated and being held aloft by their psionic
So I got a question then, and maybe this is in there. Are they dragons, or are they just a spiritual form that choose to take the shape of this?
They are still dragons, yeah.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware. So going down the list of what they are, and this link does talk about what exactly is going to be in there.
Yes, what we know about gem dragons before Fizban's Treasury of Dragon releases on dndbeyond.com.
Unfortunately, they did take out some of my favorites, but I'm going to talk about what all they were back in like the older editions as well. So you have the amethyst dragons. These guys are the logical. They burrow heavy into the ground, plane of earth kind of guys. Their breath is a blast of concussive force. Just like knocks you back.
Big burp.
And a very famous one of them is called Eldenser, and he could project his spirit into metal. And he would inhabit different swords and talk to adventurers. He didn't have to talk to them, though. He liked just observing and being there. He was known as, I want to say, like the silent observer.
It's kind of odd. It's like the FBI.
Yeah, kind of creepy, but cool in a way. I'd love to know.
It's more creepy.
He's like a fly on the wall, like just listening in on everyone's conversations.
I feel like that could be some sort of like children's tale. You tell them to freak them out at night.
Right.
It's like, ooh, you're eating dinner.
Eldens
is going to be in. Oh, that's kind of weird.
He's in your fork listening to you right now.
He doesn't like vor.
But it's interesting because he's amethyst. The next ones are emerald, and these are the inquisitive guys. You would think Eldinser would be an inquisitive kind of emerald guy, but these guys are constantly seeking knowledge of the universe, and very similar in my eyes to Beholder. They're very paranoid. They like setting traps all over their lair. And the reason they're paranoid, at least the famous guy, Raulotham.
Wait, I know that. Raulatham's lance.
Where have you
Hey, it's going to be in the... Oh, it's all connected.
Is it in the...
That's the lance that you say the name of something and it pierces it.
These famous dragons most of them are in Forgotten Realms, yeah. So that makes sense. So this guy, he believed, and he had some... a vision, I want to say, but he believed that there was going to be some cosmic force that was coming to attack Faerun. And so he is constantly aware and afraid of some outside force coming to kill him. And so he's preparing, his lair, very Beholder-like, trying to create a lair that's untouchable from these cosmic forces. But they have a blast of psionic energy and live underground and near volcanoes.
Raulatham's psychic lance.
That's hilarious.
Good spell.
Sapphires are the next ones. They're very militaristic. They love having strategy games. They like large spiders, more in the way that's like their diet. They eat those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say like, that's my best friend. I prefer spiders.
They're not drows. They're not hanging out with them. Their horns, which is the one you saw, are kept aloft by the psionic energy. So those are the sapphire guys. And they're really strong with their psionic energy and charm magic. They can teleport around as well if they choose. They like fighting aberrations and fighting drow, so they actually do not like the drow.
Oh, wow, okay.
And the famous one that I found is Melrogroth. Melrogroth, dude.
Yeah, that could be a dragon.
Dragon names are so ridiculous.
They are.
But he completely isolated himself to be completely alone, constantly just would scry everybody. Yeah, he would just use
how
his
is that
eye
at
to
all
scry
different?
people.
I guess it's like passively spying on people through metal versus like spying on people purposefully by scrying versus gathering information to hoard it.
I think as you can see, a lot of these guys are very much lonesome. I mean, all dragons kind of are, but in a different way than when they were talking about the brass and the metallic and the chromatic ones later. Very unique type of dragon for sure. Then we have the crystal ones. Topaz. I jumped ahead. Okay. Topaz, these guys live in the elemental chaos and it breaches in the worlds. Their cone, their breath is a cone of dehydration. So it sucks the blood and the liquid out of your body.
But why does he want that?
That would, first of all, that would suck to die that way.
Nice and funny.
Oh, thanks. So the famous one is called Kisan Rathisur. I know. Ruled as a king of a famous city until he was killed. So it's a famous city in Faerun. He was killed, and his body is apparently still kept deep under this city.
Wait.
And he ruled as a human, I want to say.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. As we'll get into later, dragons like living. Well, I wouldn't say chromatic dragons. Some do. Like being in the world of humans and shape-shifting themselves.
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid season 2.
I've heard it's pretty good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It had a weird first episode.
Well, they're coming back after what? How long has it been?
2 years. They've had their whole... Oh, man.
That's crazy.
Moment of silence for them right there. That's what that was. But like the first episode,
the
source material is basically a hentai author, but KyoAni does what KyoAni does, and they've done it. It's so good. But back to not cute dragons.
So Crystal is the next one. I believe, according to this article, I kind of skimmed through this because it's not what I looked at for my research. I believe Crystal's the last one that they've confirmed will be in the book.
Okay.
These guys are very friendly. They live on top of mountains. And they will steal the white dragon wormlings, the little baby white dragons, to raise as their own. Away. It kind of make them, don't be evil.
Well, the white dragons are also the weakest of all of them.
They're also the least smart. They're the idiots of the dragon world. So they take them and like, I will raise you as my own young one. Very interesting. They have a cone of white light as their breath. You try to pronounce this one. See that?
Oh my god.
Sarandalagathor.
Sarandalagalothar.
Yeah, perfect.
Wait, no, Serendalag-Lothalor.
Perfect.
Serendalag-Lothalor.
So this dragon just protected dwarves,
I think
basically,
I said
his
it
whole
right
life.
once, but why?
Because he loved them.
That's cute.
Yeah. So the last two, one is obsidian, and as you see, I skimmed here, like, well, where's the obsidian? What about obsidian dragons? So I guess they decided not to put them in this or something. They say something
Coolest
in there.
and most intelligent of the gem dragons. We're making them suffer.
Very dangerous. They have cone of fire abilities. They live near volcanoes, and they're the strongest in the psionics. According to this, they seem like they aren't going to be in it, unfortunately.
However, these dragons aren't mentioned in the adult Sapphire Dragon statistic page, so they are not discussed at any length here. But that sounds so cool. Are they just trying to avoid purely evil things?
Maybe.
Because of the hot topic that makes me sad.
It's a possibility. They're really cool, but they're not too dissimilar from, say, like a black dragon, I guess.
I mean, if you looked at the feet, I think they only offer 3 gem dragons as a portion, or just one of them.
Yes, no, I think it's just 3.
Just 3 of them. So I guess that's not really an indicator because they didn't include all of them. Or maybe those are the only 3s they were including.
Maybe. So the last one is a ruby dragon. And it's I have a question mark on this one because it's their master. Their god. For example, the chromatic dragons have Tiamat, the metallic dragons have Bahamut, and the gem dragons have Sardior. And Sardior is a ruby dragon. I assume they're probably going to talk about Sardior in the book since he's right here, but I don't know if they'll have like an actual option for it.
I mean, I feel like you have to have a ruby dragon.
They don't.
If you're not gonna have obsidian dragons, put ruby dragons.
They're probably not gonna have a stat block or anything for started, just some lore and background. And they also tease an ancient dragon turtle in this book. He looks so cool. The art for this book so far looks amazing.
That card in the pre-release, Dragon Turtle.
Oh, is it in there?
It's a 3/5.
That's cute.
That when it enters the battlefield with flash, it taps another target creature and does not untap until the step after that. So it's like the dragon turtle goes, gets your boat, pulls them down, and then the thing that gets captured comes up, and then the dragon comes up. Damn. It locks something down, and it's a 3/5. It's good as shit.
This is going to be a very high power level book, I think. They said the great wormlings or the great worms are going to be over CR20.
About time.
That's strong.
About time, dude.
Especially for dragons, they better be damn.
I mean, Ralatham Psychic, it is a save or suck spell, but it's strong as shit. So I'm excited.
So moving on from the bestiary stuff, there's going to be the character options, which have both of them are going to be the ones that were already in UA.
Drake Warden and
Way of the Ascended Dragon.
Okay, yeah, Monk.
Yeah. I'm curious if they're going to make any changes. And
I hope they
about it when it comes out.
Make you pick whether you're going with Jim or the other ones. I know it's going to lock you into it.
You've played Drake Warden a couple times.
Yeah, it's basically just a Gatling gun. I mean, it's not that fun. You do something and then another bullet comes out. It's not very engaging unless you just like
Ranger's not saved yet.
I mean, it's one of the better Ranger classes, but it's not fun to play.
Not saying much, unfortunately.
But the RP stuff with the dragon is really fun. Having the pet, it's cool. Otherwise,
I'm definitely interested. I want to see what they do with it.
Oh yeah.
And then they talked about how there's gonna be a lot of DM tools and info, a lot of tables. They said they wanted more of a show don't tell approach for this book. A lot of options for you to pick from. A lot of big tables you kind of pick and choose.
Show don't tell, so like the opposite of what they've been doing.
Yes, that's what James Wyatt has said. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's what I mean. So okay, so this is shaping up to be the book that I'm most excited about.
Okay, you're looking for it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear.
I want content. I want things to use.
I'm happy with it so far, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
And dragons are just interesting creatures to learn about. Now, who is Fizban? That's what's right on the cover here. Yeah. Fizban's Treasury of Dragoons. So he's out of Dragonlance. So it got people excited at first. This is going to be a Dragonlance themed book, but James White has said this is going to be system agnostic. So it's not Dragonlance specific, even though we got Fizban in there, but he's a famous dragon, so I guess it makes sense. But he is a silly, fun, happy-go-lucky wizard who also is a dragon.
Okay.
He's an avatar of a dragon god.
What kind of... Wait, which one?
One of the Dragonlance ones. He's from Kryn. I don't know.
Oh, okay, so it's not like Bahamut's a monk.
I don't believe so.
Man, I wonder if the monks who take the Path of the Dragon, whatever it is,
Way of the Ascended Dragon?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like a monk with Bahamut kind of stuff. Maybe you are Bahamut and you just don't know it.
Maybe you're Bahamut's long lost son or daughter.
That'd be freaky.
Okay, so that's all that's in the book that they've announced. Okay. And I'm obviously it's gonna be a lot of lore. They have talked about, and you can kind of see here, the prime world, the first world.
Yeah. So is that on a material plane?
So the interesting thing about it, they say it's where dragons come from and have existed from. The prime material plane, it existed within the prime material plane and was fought over and destroyed. I think of it like Transformers. I don't know if you know the Transformer lore, but they have their, I don't know what the hell it's called.
It's in my Cybertron.
Is that what's called? Cybertron. So they have Cybertron. They've been warring and fighting for centuries. They decided to finally leave or whatever, find the Allspark. I don't know. So it's very similar to that the dragons fought over this world for so long that they basically destroyed. Bahamut and Tiamat were from here, and they basically helped create this world and then destroy this world as well.
Yeah, it seems right. I was like a god.
It's what I mean, because a lot of places, not even in just D&D lore, but in like our world, our like Earth lore. Our Earth lore.
Our history?
Well, no, this is lore because, or folklore, I guess I should say. Dragons are some of the oldest and usually around before humanity existed.
People like big lizards.
Yeah, dragons and giants are usually like the main thing that existed before people. I don't know. Because I guess they're so big they created what we are. I don't know. There's a lot of folklore that giants.
I mean, lizards in particular, like, there's not a single thing in this world that breathes like fire. The human mind is an impressive thing.
So it's gonna have a lot to talk about that. Everything else I'm gonna talk about here is just lore and stuff that I'm hoping is gonna be in there, maybe established on in 5th edition. A lot of this was taken from Draconomicon from 3.5e.
Yeah.
Which I love. If you guys want to go check it out, I definitely recommend it. But I'm hoping it's gonna talk a lot about the dragon physiology. Kind of go into some detail on the dude, it's so hard to say. Draconomicon. So I just want to go into the like Lovecraftian version of it, but I know it's not it.
Necronomicon.
Yeah. Draconomicon, right? Draconomicon.
Like
Draconomicon.
Draco Malfoy.
Okay, that's gonna make it easy. Yeah. So Draconomicon went into heavy detail in the physiology, which is always, maybe not for everybody, but it's
that kind of stuff that like the DMs love to read, and then you prattle off about it to your players, and they're like, all right, let's just go kill one.
It's gonna be one of those things that I think what's the book that Kenneth, the Haversack guy?
Yeah, somebody's Haversack.
Isn't that the one that they like dissect monsters and stuff, or is that a different one? There's this really cool. I'll see if I can find it. There's a really cool DM's Guild product where you go out and hunt things, and you can cut them up and take their parts for stuff.
I can hear his voice in my head saying, "Well, the Haversack."
He's gonna be yelling at us later. But those type of people are gonna be the ones that love the physiology stuff.
I'll like it too, because I mean, I'm interested into, and I saw it in your page, so maybe it's like cheating, but like how old they get, what they do, etc. A bunch of stuff like that. So I'm excited.
It does. So you're talking about the age? We'll talk about the age here. Yeah. Go and message him. Ask him, hey, what's that book?
I'm just gonna send him Haversack.
And I seem like, what? So they are broken up into bigger age gaps than this, but I'm just going to say it for the sake of
Are those years?
Yes. So for the sake of the monster manual that we currently have in our possession, which is over here, they break it up by wormlings, young, adult, and ancient. So that's how I broke it up here.
Oh my god,
Hewitt's
dude!
Handy Haversack.
I just sent him Haversack.
But is that the one that is that an item book, or is that the
Hewitt's Handy Haversack?
Look it up real quick. Make sure that's the one I'm thinking of. Anyway, so as he does that, 0 to 5 years old is wormling. 6 to 50 is considered young. 51 to 400 or 800 is considered adult. Andy, that's not it.
Hewitt's Handy Haversack, Forgotten Realms, Wiki.
Well, no, it's a DM's Guild product.
Magic backpack that offered 3 compartments, 6 rental storage.
No, it's a DM's Guild's product.
All right, I'll continue to delve.
Just ask him, what's that book that you did that you hunt things and use their parts for? Okay, anyway. Then after 800 to 1,000 years old is ancient. And past that, 1,000 to 1,200 plus are the worms. So these great worms.
So it's not that worms are different from dragons, but it's
older.
an age.
Yes. Hammond's Harvesting Guide. Oh my god.
Thanks, Kenneth.
Thank you. Yeah. So Hammond's Harvesting Guide. That's the book we're talking about.
Yeah.
Those type of people are gonna love the physiology section.
Well, I mean, I'm interested. I just love dragons. But what's so
Well,
interesting to
3.5
me
no, go
is
ahead.
it's like I know as you get older, it's that sort of like time dilation thing. That's not the right term for it, but like what 5 years is to a 5-year-old
Oh my
is their
God,
entire
yeah.
life, but to a 5,000-year-old, that's like 1% of their life. But it's so
Yeah.
interesting to see that wormling is only 0 to 5, and yet dragons live to 1,200 something plus years
Yeah,
old.
they grow up pretty quick.
It's like so interesting to see how the increments increase. Like young is 650, like he said. It's cool to.
And you got to think about that
See that.
when you role play a dragon as well. That their time dilation stuff is
How
very
different
interesting.
is a 1,000-year-old dragon to a 1,101-year-old
Well, especially
dragon?
if you know. So, for example, you're Braxton, right? And you, hopefully, if you know you're going to live to be 1,000+ years old, unless someone kills you, which is highly unlikely because you're a badass, you would probably not be in a rush. You get time to
Yeah, I'll
kill.
hoard some
Literally.
treasure.
Yeah, you get literal time to just sit around and do nothing.
Peer through some swords.
Do some trying, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happens if an amethyst dragon, is that what it was?
The ones that
The purple ones?
hop into people.
Yeah, what if it watches itself die to the sword that it's looking through because it wants to see what it's like to kill a dragon?
Damn, that's like some
Oh,
horror movie.
forget I
like,
said that
Okay.
because that sounds really good. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that.
Okay. All right, just keep that in his back pocket.
I'm just going to lock it away.
But I was gonna say before, the 3.5 edition really liked the physiology of monsters. So like they have an illithid evaporation type book. They have different books like Draconomicon for different creatures. Each one goes in heavy detail on what their physiology is. That's weird. Okay, so the interesting thing about these creatures to me is their death and dying process.
Yeah, I saw something on there that I'm very curious about.
Yeah, so there is a monster, if you guys have read through the monster manual, called a Draco Lich.
Yeah.
And these are the ones that don't want to die so badly that they create a phylactery, just like they have to drink something as well, I believe.
Okay,
but
so it's not just like
they become a
it's
lich.
guaranteed to happen.
Yeah, they become a lich and
Okay.
they have to protect their phylactery. And then they will never die until some poor adventuring party discovers this guy and goes out to kill him. So that's a possibility. The second one is what's called departure, where a dragon can force or will their spirit to leave their body, causing the body to fall. They oftentimes want to go to dragon graveyards, which are well established, and these places are, ancient, sacred places, and only reachable by flying creatures, so humanity can't get there. And they will prepare for this by consuming their entire hoard, and then they will
doesn't sound
let their
fun.
spirit just fade off into nothing.
Hold on, so they eat all our coins and shit?
Yeah, there's actually a monster or a dragon later we'll talk about that eats pearls and treasure and coins.
It's because he wants to die?
No, he just likes it. It's his choice of delicacies.
So what happens when he wants to die? Does he do something else as a ritual?
He eats everything.
He vomits it.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, he gives it back.
But yeah, this is a big pilgrimage ritual for some big ancient ass dragon. He's like, all right, it's time to die.
Something so interesting to me too is for races that live a long time in these fantasy worlds, death is scarier. Not literally, maybe not to everyone, but I don't want to blanket statement it. But if you can live to be 1,000, 2,000 years old and you can die at any time during that, I feel like I would be more guarded. Yeah, I'm a badass, but
Sure.
a human that's like, fuck, I'll die in 5 years anyways. This guy's like, I still have 2,000 years to go.
Yeah, I guess in that sense, but also, if you know, unless someone kills you, obviously, that you're not going to die for a long time, I feel like it's a lot more. It's like an accepted part of your process. You have 1,000 years to prepare for your death instead
That's
of
true.
as a human, I have 50, 60, 70.
And Draco Lich just do it.
True. So the other thing that I love is called guardianship. A dragon can choose to become a guardian, which is similar to them releasing their spirit, except they basically transform into a feature of the landscape. They choose hills and different fun valleys as well. And they become a guardian spirit to watch over this area. And in the future, dragons will come here and lay their eggs, and this becomes a new nest for these creatures. And the guardian spirit will watch over the dragons. It's very wholesome and
There's
cute.
a lot of magic cards with sleeping dragons that make up the landscape, or dead dragons. There's a new one that just came out.
Really?
Yeah. There's one in the Prosper Planar something deck, that commander deck. One of the lands it's just a red, and when it enters the battlefield, you exile something with it. I believe it's free. And you pay 1 mana only when somebody's taken 7 damage, as if it was a guardian.
Oh.
And then you pay 1 red mana, so you can't use it. and then you tap it, and you get to take that card out of exile, and it's free. So it's as if the dragon goes to sleep and rests, and if
like,
somebody disturbs something,
it's almost like James White helped write this book and helped make that.
Maybe he did.
He did. Very cool. I can just see, I mean, this is not only cool stuff for Dragon lore, but as a DM, this is cool stuff you can just put into your world.
It's a return to form. It's Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it gives you ideas for things. You know, your party's traveling. They see a very strange looking hill. I mean, it's very much reminds me of old, again, medieval type or even more ancient stuff than that, where you'll read, writings of some guy talking about how this is, it's not a mountain range, it's a spine of the dragon or something. It's very reminiscent of, this mountain range made this where a dragon decided to become a guardian of this area.
Dude, those metallurgy dragons, the amethyst ones, I'm coming up with so many quests.
Hell yes.
Oh, I'm stoked.
Something else I was thinking of, like how Monster Hunter displays scratches and
like
food left around.
Oh, yeah.
Use that as inspiration unless you don't know what Monster Hunter is. As how to, obviously you can do this with any monster, but dragons are very easy.
They leave their mark on the environment.
Yeah, on how to display how this creature exists here. So they crawl through different areas or kill things and leave their carcasses. But now we get to the kind of fun part, is the role play. Or maybe should we talk about the types of dragons first? We haven't talked about the chromatic. No, we talked about the gems.
We're already out of order. Doesn't matter.
Okay. So role play.
Okay.
Role play.
All right.
We already kind of touched on it, but living for hundreds upon thousands of years, watching the life and the world slowly go by. You probably can't have any friends besides dragons, but you don't really have friends anyway. Or maybe elves. They could be close with the elves.
Maybe there's a lineage of people that you're friends with their whole family.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
But that's, to me, what shapes the outlook and their mindset of a dragon is the amount of stuff they see. I mean, I think it's a hard thing to picture because we don't live that long, but this is how I kind of looked at it.
It's like watching history repeat itself. You see so much of it,
Exactly.
and it can become futile, or like there's a thing that you absolutely just want to quell anytime it happens because you've seen it, you hate it. Stop. Boom. Stop.
You took the words right out of my mouth. So if you're a dragon or you're some ancient being that's seen this happen over and over and over again, you've seen things fall, things progress, but it just always ends up the same way. Wouldn't you not think that you're greater than them?
Yeah.
Because you know what they're doing is futile. Boom. That's how a dragon is. That's why they're so vain. That's why they're so rude to mortals, because the dragons get it and the humans just don't. Yeah.
Well, think about this. Like here's a set of lore that you could make for a traditionally good color of the dragon. It's been around for so long, and that it's seen this particular sect of a lineage or people rise up, and every time that bloodline does, it turns out bad and a lot of people die. So it becomes like a plague on them every time they try to rise to power. And from their perspective and everyone else's, it's like, why do you keep turning down their empire, their city? All they're trying to do is prosper. But that dragon knows anytime they fully finish this transformation, they start murdering people and shit. So it just seems like this dragon constantly comes by every like 30, 50 years to kill these people and massacre them. But it's to stop this like ancient evil that dwells within the bloodline.
Them, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like secret stuff like that. Some
cool lore and some quest lines that can be behind that.
I'm thinking with dragons now.
That's the way to do it. But we talked about this before, but like them killing time literally they find ways to occupy their time. Yeah. Whether this is through battle,
flipping on some coins,
through puzzles, eating on coins. Very much depends on the dragon, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Dragons also very much keep to themselves. I mean, like beholders, very vain and paranoid creatures. They don't really have many friends, unfortunately.
Can we have a beholder dragon? Probably not.
If the beholder dreams, yeah, maybe.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Imagine just like a full dragon pans up and it's literally just a beholder on the head.
That's scary.
Kind of disgusting.
I don't want to think about that.
Nah.
So they only come together to mate, raise their young.
What's that? Let's not get into it.
Or face a threat together. And even still, metallic dragons are more likely to help and work together than a chromatic dragon. But hey, if there's an adventuring party bad enough, hey, they might band together and try to go take them out. So their horde is obviously, when people think of dragons, they think of probably the guy from The Hobbit. Can't remember his name off the top of my head.
I don't remember either. I just think of kobolds and stuff.
But you usually think of a lot of gold, a lot of material that the dragon is sitting upon, resting their little heads on. They take great pride and joy from what is within their hoard. They know the monetary value of every single item. Because it's like a sense of pride for them.
But that's so weird to me. It's such a human thing.
Well, it's like a dick measuring contest.
Yeah, but like
my hoard's got 10,000 gold worth of items. Yours only has 5.
But isn't it so weird how a centuries old dragon is so involved in the human value of items?
And it's interesting.
That is so odd to me.
Because dragons don't have a form of currency.
No, it's like a communist thinking like, ooh, this is worth like this many freedom dollars.
Well, maybe it's like a Stockholm syndrome kind of thing. They've spent so long around these people. They're like, well, I guess this is what's important in life. Or maybe it's to show, hey, this is how awesome I am. I can take all their crap from them.
I guess.
But I think there's still a little bit of that, little vainness in there. That's like, I mean, I am badass. I can take those items, but I kind of like it too.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to look at. Again, like a beholder. Look at their artwork.
Buying something that you literally can't use. But yeah, beholder. Just keeping everything so nobody else can have it.
Because I'm the best creature in the world and I should have them all. So it's tough to kind of talk about roleplay, I would say, without talking about the different types of dragons. Because each one is very different. Well, not very different, but quite different. Especially between chromatic and metallic. So, the types. Black dragon. These are the very evil dude. Lives in swamps and in bogs. Oftentimes in jungles and rainforests as well, though. They like living deep in the caves and submerged caverns. They smell nasty, by the way.
They look nasty.
They are.
They're like the pugs of dragons.
Acid breath.
I'm sorry.
The pug. With like the
they got like
face.
Pushed in face and like weird horns that look like
that.
They're gross looking, man.
But they're very brutal. Very intense. Very scary type of dragons. You got the blue dragons. Lightning breath. They like soaring over the skies, living above deserts, and kind of the dry areas. Attack caravans that journey throughout the sands.
They're kind of conniving too, aren't they? They make like traps and plans.
You might be thinking of the green dragon.
Maybe.
Because the blue dragons, they are just very much about...
not like traps, but blue dragons like planning things and seeing things come to fruition.
A little bit, I'd say. I mean, most dragons are like that in some ways, for sure. They live in these dark, kind of desolate places using their lightning breath. They carve out
that's sick.
Like caves for them to live in. Very cool. But thunderstorms will just constantly rage around where they live. Then we have the green dragons, which you're kind of talking about. The poison breath. They're the most cunning of all the dragons. They like having immaculate schemes that they set about and put things. I'd say of all dragons, besides metallic, are the most likely to shapeshift into humans and go out there and start like fucking with stuff.
That freaks me out because maybe I met Ryan's green dragon.
There could be a couple of them. They enjoy tricking, gaining the wealth of individuals, and adding things to their hoard with as little effort as possible. Just like sitting back, chilling, and just seeing things get added onto it. They reside in forests, and they like to stalk and terrorize their prey before they either kill it or add it to I think you think that.
It's okay. I don't have notes anyways.
All right. Add it to their hoard. Green dragons are to me probably the most interesting just because they aren't.
I find them the most
dragons.
basic.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like they're the most basic dragon.
See, I would say the next one, the red dragon, is the most basic.
I feel like the red dragon is the most simple.
Stereotypical, I guess I should say.
But I feel if I think of a dragon, I'm like, ooh, evil dragon is like conniving and like, silly humans, I flick my nail at you and you die, huh?
Gross.
That kind of thing.
The red one's fire breath, obviously.
Grigori from Dragon's Dogma. See how much he aligns with this. Go.
Okay. They're more vain than a typical dragon, if that is possible, but they're extremely, extremely vain. It resides near mountains.
Hey?
I don't know how it's doing for you. Very easily angered and very quick to start lashing out against humanity and people. They utilize servants to do a lot of their bidding. Nice. There it is. Though these servants will not last very long because they are often turned into piles of ash.
Well, pawns.
Yeah, I guess they're more pawns than servants, yeah.
Dragon's Dogma. It's a good game.
Mm-hmm. But they like having monuments and stuff erected to their glory inside their lair, showing off their beautiful features.
Yeah.
Then we have the white dragon, which we kind of made fun of earlier as being the idiots of the
runts of
world.
the litter.
Yeah, kind of. Cold breath. They aren't as smart, lack the cunning of any of the other dragons. Is
dragon not smart? Like dumb or
that's true. I mean, they're still smart, but they're more bestial in nature.
Okay.
They will like to kind of like hunt things similar to, I would say, griffins and hawks, where they like soar above, see some beasts, dive down, grab it, eat it, and that's about it.
I love to see how Tiamat is, and specifically talk to the white dragon part of Tiamat. Well, no, Tiamat's not.
I don't think it has any white.
No, it's all chromatic, right?
Well, white dragon is chromatic.
Yeah, okay, so Tiamat is these ones.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Learning today.
Yeah, they live within the frigid climates. They like having large titans, giants, and other large beast corpses that are placed outside their lairs, warning again, very bestial in nature.
This is my
It's
spot.
like, hey, scare, don't come near me. I'm a big, scary badass. But they're very good with their memory. Immaculate memories. They take note of any little minor slight, and that will create their vendetta for the next,
Damn.
hundreds of years.
Talk about Rhyme of the Frostman. This is a pretty cool white dragon in there.
That's very true. Yeah, be very careful with what you say to a white dragon.
Hey, bitch.
They probably won't have much time.
Your whole lineage will die.
Yeah, you don't want to piss off it. Dragons or elves, you don't want to piss off either of those. So that's all of the chromatic dragons. The evil dudes. The ones I would say most players probably see the most of in their D&D games. Then you get the metallic ones. The reason why I say chromatic you see the most of is because these guys are either kind of hidden away from humanity, or they're living. Yeah, they're living within it as humans, but they're shapeshifters.
Okay.
So we have the brass dragon, who is fire and sleep breath. They love talking to people. The example I saw was that they would follow people if they didn't get the information that they wanted out of them. They wanted to, like, someone just said, "Hey, what's up, Joe?" And they were like, "Hey, wait a minute, you look really cool. Talk to me more." And they left. They would follow this guy and keep checking in with him, like following him as a human, following him as
That's
above.
kind of cute.
And eventually get a conversation. Well, it's cute until the example I read was the monster, not the monster, I'm so sorry, dragon. The dragon would jump on top of the guy in the middle of the night and like hold him down with the claw and then talk to the guy. Like force him to have a conversation. That's a little aggressive.
You actually scared me.
That's a little aggressive.
That's actually very terrifying.
Imagine waking up to a gigantic dragon holding you down by its claw saying, "Hey, we need to talk."
What happens when the conversation's done?
He leaves.
It's not too bad.
These are good dragons, but even still, that's a little weird, dude. That's a little bit much.
I'm kind of freaked out.
I feel like a better response would be, "Hey, this guy's interesting. I'm gonna follow him until he camps, and I'll pretend to be a peddler and say, 'Hey, can I camp with you, pal?' And then just have a conversation that way."
Nah, I kind of like the other one.
Oh man,
it's a pretty cool dragon Kobayashi's dragon made.
They love deserts and stuff. So the bronze dragon, they have lightning and repulsion breath.
Like a force?
Yes, like it forces you like. I think so. From what I've found mechanically of these dragons, a lot of their secondary breath component is a way to, I think, stop all fighting and say, "Hey, I'm not a bad guy."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because there's the sleep breath, there's the repulsion, there's some slowing, weakening stuff, paralyzing stuff.
What about evolutionary reasons? Like if there is
probably
evolution
from Bahamut. Bahamut's
so
like, "Hey, let's help out humanity."
That's so cool.
So then bronze guys, they live near the coast, will join armies if they believe they're fighting them for just reasons. And it's just very cute here. They enjoy watching ships as they sail past their lairs. They're like, "Oh, that's cute." And if they are feeling very spry that day, they'll fly over and hop into the ship, check out their hold, say, "Huh, that looks cool." Go talk to the captain and try to barter to get the item that they really want down in the hold.
Can you imagine having a random visitor be like, "Hey, can I buy this from you? Sir, this is not a shop.
How did you get here?
How did you get
We're
here?"
literally in the middle of nowhere.
Also, can I note that bronze is literally just brass, but forged under fire and stuff? And then you got copper.
Yeah, copper's next.
Aren't these all the same thing?
No, they're not, man. These are different metals, okay? Copper guys have acid and slowing breath. They're pranksters, joke tellers, and jesters. They love bards. Enjoy people that tell them a good story and reside upon hilltops.
The brass and this guy should just be friends.
They would probably make good friends, yeah.
Yeah.
This guy loves if someone comes by and tells some jokes, and they like hopping into bars and hearing fun stories and jokes tellers. We got the gold dragon. They have fire and weakening breath, which just like makes you not as strong. Mm-hmm. They are the paladins, the badass guys.
That's why it's flying lifelink in the magic set.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So they're all about bringing the forces of evil down.
They look like fishes.
Well, what?
Go near rivers and hard to reach locations. The one in the magic set looks like a flying goldfish.
Looks like a fish?
Yeah, flying goldfish.
Okay, well. I need to see this artwork, I guess. So they're enjoy eating pears. Sorry, it says pears here. This one I meant pearls. These are the ones that like eating pearls and gemstones. I wrote pears apparently.
Pearls, oceans.
Yeah, so they love eating pearls and gemstones, which is kind of weird. But they often are shapeshifted to appear as the animals and travelers moving from place to place, just chilling until they find somebody bad and then they turn into a dragon and probably eat them.
Okay.
That's a scary way to live. Silver dragon, the cold and paralyzing breath. They're the friendliest guys. They're like just chilling, sitting back, hanging out with the bros. They believe that to live a good and fulfilling life includes helping others and doing virtuous deeds. I guess it's very similar to the gold dragon in like a paladin kind of way. I like dwelling among clouds and mountain peaks.
Can't freak you out about the gold dragon card? It's called the red white dragon because they can't. There's no golden magic.
Oh,
it is a gold dragon, but
it's clever.
Is it?
Yeah. Right.
Sure.
Okay.
Continue.
No, that's all the metallic. That's all the dragons. Actually, we've covered all the dragons.
So can I pose something?
You can pose.
I find it interesting how when it comes to the closer something is to us, our world, and rightfully so, people talk about what is closer to their hearts and themselves and their experience more so. But like all these dragons are just generalizations. Like all gold dragons are X, all brass dragons are Y. I find it so interesting. Nobody's complained and said, what if there's a mean gold dragon?
Yeah, I'm interested if this book will change that. As they've already said that the gem ones will not be neutral.
I'm interested to see how they handle it.
Yeah.
And it's neither bad nor good. I sometimes enjoy having these categorizations because it helps in storytelling, but there's the other argument of it. It creates a breadth of a stereotype or it's a blanket statement.
I'm curious as well if they'll add more types because the older editions had I can't remember the direct term of it, but what us as Americans would know is like the imperial dragon, like the Chinese kind of flowing dragon. And that's in a Kobold Press dragon book. They also have like desert-based dragons and stuff in there. I'm curious if they're going to add more. That'd be very cool. I would hope so.
Yeah.
The Draconomicon just had these in it, but there's a possibility that they'll decide to get fancy with it.
Yeah, this is finally a book that I'm excited about.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like the author, so I'm got my fingers crossed.
I'd say Strixhaven is the next one amongst everything else that's come out, just because it's got dragons in it.
I'm anticipating the Feywild just because it's written by Chris Perkins.
I'm just so tired of the Feywild.
I like Chris Perkins. I'm holding out hope, but it's still I'm not super hyped on.
I'm tired of the Feywild. I'm tired of the Shadow Realm, whatever the hell it's called. I already forgot about it. Get out of my brain.
Shadowfell.
We've been getting so much of that, and hell yeah, the people
Planescape.
that want it, but yeah, give me some other planes.
So now we've talked about all the dragons, we've talked about role playing. Now, as a DM, how do you utilize this? Right?
You don't, because dragons are boring and basic.
They can be. You can just literally toss them in as a monster encounter. A dragon's flying over a city. Oh my God, we gotta go save it. And you quickly run there, kind of like, not really run the Frost Maiden-esque, but kind of where you see a big dragon off in the distance. Oh my God, we gotta go save city XYZ.
Yes.
That's kind of a little interesting, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the game's literally just called Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Buggins.
Dungeons and Buggos. So you might as well just have if you want a quick little fun dragon fight, go for it. That's what the young ones are for. I mean, you could I don't think throwing in a random ancient dragon would be very fun because there's no build up for like its big scary boss fight, but whatever.
I think it's always fun to think of all the stuff that Ryan's mentioned so far about these dragons. Like they live long lives. It's like killing an elf that they've gotten so much experience. Maybe if they're younger, yeah. But now anytime I encounter a dragon in D&D, if it is something basic, I always wonder like the things they must have seen and known. And we just had a fight and killed it. Damn. It's just like shit.
Yeah, that guy had 1,000 years on you, and now he's gone.
Yep. I'm a badass. Woo! Let me take its tooth.
Yeah, we can use the hordes as well to have really cool magic items that are not found anywhere else in your world. Just toss a bunch in here. Granted, this is where you can get, maybe throw off the power level of your game and have the deck of many things or scary items that should not exist in your player's hands here.
Kenneth, you're going to hate me.
Oh, you just get an idea?
Yeah.
You're going to put an item he wants in this horde?
Not an item he wants. Something he hates when I mention all the time.
Oh, no.
I'm putting Prosh in my game. Not in the way you expect, though.
So let's say you decide not to use them as just regular fun encounters. You can still use them as fun encounters with this, but I think incorporate them as more of a pivotal plot point to your story. Because as we mentioned, a lot of them are plotters, schemers, very Joker-esque. Get them involved into the politics of your world. Put them into large scale plots that are like facing it. Maybe a chromatic dragon is the face of one kingdom, and there's a metallic dragon in the face of another kingdom, and they decide to pit their forces against each other. And it's not till later you find out, the players find out, oh my god, we've been helping out the bad dragon this whole time. The good guy's over there. Or even still, like, green dragons might egg on a war to get a lot of people killed, so it's easier for them to sneak in and get all the gold they want. Some other ideas I came up with are a shapeshifted dragon who's running a major guild and swaying the populace to grow their own horde. They're bringing people, selling items to them, and they just go, hey, let's toss it into our spot. Getting more ideas?
I just think that's cool. That was your idea.
Oh, thanks, man.
That's a cool idea.
He's gassing me up.
Well, first I was like, man, what a kind dragon. And then I realized, oh, they're just taking it. Like a dragon running a thieves guild? Dude, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, a dragon running a thieves guild. Definitely, I would say a green dragon probably, like scheming and doing like some nasty stuff just so they can get their own horde bigger.
This thieves guild is prized on their potent poisonous daggers.
Ooh, nice.
Where does the poison come from? Nobody knows.
Their veins.
The dragon.
Well, I don't know where the dragon keeps their. Do they have poison glands?
I don't know.
Read the physiology section.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, is it like venomous like snake in their teeth, or they spit it?
The other cool idea is, say there's a shapeshifter. You see a lot of the ideas are shapeshifted dragons, and you find out later, which I guess you could maybe argue is a poor plot point, poor writing to have something that's shapeshifted, and you find out that it wasn't what you thought it was.
Yeah.
But sending the party on various maybe unconnected quests, and then you find out this is all the metallic dragons trying to create an artifact to stop something bad, or the opposite. It's a chromatic dragon that's twisted your players into helping them out do bad stuff.
And it's two factions, and you pick your side.
Whoa. There's a lot of cool ways to use dragons, and I think you as DMs should use them more.
And you as players shouldn't chagrin.
Well, if you're a player, how would you, I guess this could be metagaming, but how would you fight a dragon?
I'd hit it.
Stay out of its range of its breath attack?
Good luck with that. It just goes, turn my head, bleh, and you're dead.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Be bad. Ass. Fight dragons, dude.
That's definitely their strongest move, for sure. That's their titular attack.
Today we're the dragon crawl.
The dragon crawl.
That could have been our name in an alternate universe.
I actually know a lot about alternate universes. I finished watching Loki. So.
Okay, that would have been a really good segue into podcasts. Apple Podcasts.
Oh.
It's too early now.
Damn.
But I feel like I almost feel like you should either post this in a Twitter thread, like a really long one, because those do really well, or put it somewhere, because like that's useful information and it's easy to digest.
Dragons, yeah.
Just the stuff you wrote.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah,
I write stuff.
He does that sometimes.
Yeah,
I a lot of information.
I was thinking I've never used dragons either, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's.
You've had so many dragons in your game, or at least
I haven't. You see them, but not like.
zero.
It's not like it's part of it.
Could I have ever fought that?
I guess that's fair. They're ingrained in the history of my world. Okay. But I've never used them in a combat situation or in
that wyvern fight was fun. The black one.
That's true. That's a wyvern, very different. Point being, I don't know if I thought it was too generic or I don't know, but I've just never used one.
I think it's I always try to imagine, and this is tough because certain people have different ways to write scenarios, but genuinely, if I stood in front of a dragon who I was as big as basically just not one of its teeth, but 3 or 4 of its teeth, that big, and it's just thinking about that experience. You see Drist in the art for Magic the Gathering, he's running up and about to slash a red dragon in the face, and he's literally bite-sized to it. What is slashing that with you and your panther and 2 swords going to do? And just think about how epic that is. Really visualizing it versus something else.
And then once you kill it, you can steal directly out of Drist history and lore. Is you kill a dragon and take its tooth to make a weapon, or take a scale to make a weapon. You've probably seen Icing Death in the new set. That's pretty good. That's one of his. That's his weapon.
Every time it was said in the pre-release area, people were just think of dessert every time. Icing Death.
Yeah, I could see him running an ice cream shop.
Badass.
But you might want to change the death
phrase of the tame. Yeah, I don't know. Icing Death. I don't know. That's That's
dragons. Yeah. So if you were excited about anything I said, then you should definitely check out Fizban's Treasury of Dragons.
Pick Dragoon in Final Fantasy XIV.
Well, you could do that.
I haven't played in ages.
Yeah, by ages he means a week or so.
Yeah, I've been busy.
October 19th is when it releases.
That's 2 months from today.
Yeah, next month.
Sorry, what?
No.
July.
June.
August, June, July, August, September, October. Yeah, it's 3 months from now.
So 2 months from now, meaning is when the
some time from now.
No, you're right. 3 months, I believe. 2 months is when the Feywild book is releasing, and then 4 months is when their Strixhaven book. So back to back.
Flip it around. Strixhaven's first.
Is it really?
Yeah, Strixhaven's the next one.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm absolutely positive.
He's absolutely.
If I'm
positive.
wrong,
Strix.
I don't know. I don't know what we'll do. He's googling.
Vin. D&D book. Okay.
You didn't add release date.
Well, I'll just click this.
What does it say?
Take me to dndbeyond.com.
Come on.
November 19th.
Oh, what?
Yeah, see, I was right.
Why did they flip it?
It was always like this, wasn't it?
No, I meant like, why would they have Strixhaven be after? The set came out forever ago.
This is what I said.
So this is coming after.
Yeah.
So if there isn't not like continuity, but if they make the dragons in that very different from, I guess, Magic the Gathering dragons are very different from.
Yeah. I'm curious if they're going to have too many, because there's only a few.
There's one per house.
Yeah, so I don't know if they might not even get a block or stat block or anything. They might just get talked about a little.
No, I think they'll be talked about because the cards themselves are very, very focused on. They're really cool. So we'll see. I mean, it's like the headmaster, I think, or the resident mascot.
No, I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, that's so sick. So sick. All right. Thanks for listening to us prattle about dragons. I think they're cool.
I love dragons.
I don't think you should think they're as basic. And, it's Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it's literally half of the game you're playing.
It's a third of it. The other half's the ampersand. Or third. I don't know.
This is not even talking about the Pathfinder dragons. Oh, man, it's a whole nother ball game.
I don't even know what those are. Pathfinder, we'll be jumping back into that, too. We just hit 1,000 views on that.
Our first podcast with 1,000 views. That's crazy.
So thanks for hopping on that. If you subscribed recently, do that video. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah,
hope you like our other stuff. Jump in to our DMs on Twitter and Instagram because I usually post clips, which I think I forgot to do for the live play last week because last week was crazy. But at Dungeon Crawl Pod for any of our socials. You can also email us at thedungeoncrawlpod@gmail.com. If you look in the description, you can find a link tree. What is that? It's a link with all of our fancy links on one page. Super easy to click through. If you don't want to try to find anything specifically by searching stuff, it's basically like, let me Google that for you. Jump in there, get in on it, say hello, say hi. Kenneth has been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering on stream in the Discord, not on Twitch.
Discord.
Because he, he's one of those guys that wants to not have parasocial relationships. So become our friends, join in there, talk to us, hang out. I'm almost always watching him play it too, so have a good time. What do you got?
Oh yeah. So what?
Thought process.
Yeah. So as I was studying dragons, I thought the best way. So just last thing, and then we'll end the podcast. I thought the best way to learn about dragons is to go meet one, right?
The fuck?
Isn't that how if you were to go, learn about anything, you probably should live. He went to Japan to learn about Japan culture.
That's true.
Yeah, live its culture. So I found it. I went to dragonsmeet.com and I learned. I met a dragon. Don't worry, my girlfriend was on board about this. I went to go meet this dragon for the first time, and we met at this very nice.
But you're not a dragon.
They didn't even know that. They thought I was and he was.
You cat dragoned them?
They thought I was in shapeshift.
Damn.
Yeah. And we met at this very nice.
Can you set mountain preferences? Like,
yeah.
You're only interested in
green or brass. And we went to this mountain range. Very pretty, very nice. They said that their ancestor guardian had died here.
Yeah.
And so we poured one out for them. And then we went to their lair, their horde. They invited me over very fast. I know, I wasn't ready.
Treasure and chill, man.
I thought this is the best way to learn about a dragon.
Damn.
So I went over, and while the dragon, I won't say their name in the podcast. I don't want to, blow them up like this.
Yeah.
But while the dragon was off catching us dinner, I decided to kind of look through the horde, which is a dangerous thing to do.
Whoa, buddy.
I know, dangerous thing to do. But as I was looking through the gold and the magical items, I threw there was a deck I tossed out. There was a piece of paper, which I thought was odd. And I picked it up, and the piece of paper was a printout from Apple Podcasts, the website.
I swear to God.
It was a printout of a review that they had left on Apple Podcasts, 5 stars for his podcast called The Dungeon Crawl Podcast.
How cute. They're like a boomer. They thought they had to send it in.
Huge fan of Dungeon Crawl. I think that's probably why. I think they thought that I was, which I am the member of the Dungeon Crawl.
What was it?
They thought I was a dragon.
Was it a chromatic dragon?
Yeah, no, it was brass.
Okay, I was about to say 5 stars for the 5 heads of Tiamat.
No, damn that. Yeah. But they came back. I'm not gonna kiss and tell, but it was a good night. Moral of the story.
This is Shrek.
Yeah, moral of the story.
This is Shrek.
Moral of the story is to go and rate us 5 stars. This dragon did help us out a lot by rating us 5 stars. So definitely recommend you guys go out and say shout out to Tiamat or what's up, my main man Bahamut, that type of stuff. It helps us out and get high.
It's all big ruse. We are dragons, and our horde is the 5-star ratings.
That's good. Yeah, that's very true too.
I'm kidding. It's all conjecture. But what is true is he's been Ryan.
Yeah, he's been Braxton. This is episode 98?
Oh shit! Is it 99?
No, I think it's 98.
Okay, 98. We got 2 more weeks until the 100th episode and our 2nd year anniversary.
Woo!
So we're creating. I don't know if you're doing a thing. If it's holy shit. Yeah, I set something in motion. I think he's
playing on some
stuff. But there is going to be a release of at least one thing. And then we hope, I haven't gathered them yet, but we want to make the 100th episode a Q&A thing. So I need to get off my booty and try to organize that, or just go through the Discord and pull questions that people have asked randomly and talk about them and shit. So send those to our socials that you heard earlier, or just join the Discord and throw them into a channel and I'll aggregate them, or I'll make a post at some point and we'll celebrate.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it.
We've been talking in not these mics, but we've been doing it for a while. Hopefully, with the thing that we released, you can help us get some stands.
Yeah, we've only been getting sounding.
Yeah, words.
I have to say we've only been sounding better, but I don't know anymore after what just happened to me. I had a stroke live on the broadcast.
It's okay. Your dragon form wavered for a second.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for crawling with us. We'll see you guys next time on whatever the hell we're covering, because I don't know.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
As always.
Yeah, we're gonna make a thumbnail. Bye.
Peace.